Hey Capricorns, it's been a minute. I know. I'm sorry. There's been a lot going on, like life. Life has been happening. So I have not been around. But we're here now. We're here now. What you're reading? What you're reading for November? So as I'm meditating on your guys' energy, there was a sense that you guys are holding up too many things when the tower's trying to fall. The tower falls because it's time for renewing. It's time for things to be different. And the thing about the tower is scary. Big booming energy, everything falls, and then you move on to I believe the moon card is next, which is actually pretty terrifying for a lot of people because it's lack of clarity, it's being in the dark, it's wandering around the dark forest of the subconscious and trying to figure out where you're going to go. I get it. But you know what happens is actually the moon card moves into the star card, which is hope, which someone comes and offers hope and lets you know that soon the sun's gonna rise, it'll be fine. Like just wait it out. Just go through the process and the sun will rise, and it does again. And that is happiness and joy and the ability for you to be able to breathe, right? So anyway, I haven't pulled the cards yet. This is just the beginning. We're not even 2 minutes in yet. Um, but if you guys are holding up too many things while the tower is trying to fall, it's like you end up with just rubble in your hand. You end up with just the rubble from the tower in your hand, you know? Um, so we're gonna pull cards, but that's where we're starting. So we're gonna pull cards. If you guys haven't subscribed or liked yet, do those things. And I'll be back in a second with your cards. Okay, we're back. Um, so hopefully you guys can hear me just as well. I have a I have a downstairs neighbor who's doing construction on his apartment during a confinement. And so I've been having the headphones on just so you guys can hear me. So hopefully you guys can hear me just fine, and we're gonna continue the reading. So we have the Lover's card here with the Hangman here. And we also have the Three of Swords in reverse. This is saying to me that you might have been carrying someone. You might have been carrying an idea of something. And you're kind of at a crossroads right now because you've internalized a lot of hurt. You're not currently maybe in a hurt space per se, but you've internalized a lot of it. I can hear my roommate's music, and so I was like, "Is that my phone?" You've internalized a lot of that hurt, and you're carrying that. And maybe you've kind of moved on, but it's almost like even if the person's still in your life, there might be like biting comments, or you might be kind of like looking at your like partner sideways. This also could be a job situation. Maybe you wanted like a raise or, some sort of promotion, and they didn't give it to you for whatever reason, and it's kind of like you're kind of like looking at people sideways like, I'm gonna get out of here. you know so um there's this element of like it's a lot of there's some internalized feelings, and it's almost like you just feel like you can work out, you can eat better, you can take walks, and you just can't seem to get rid of this feeling. Now, for some of you, I would suggest, if you were into this sort of thing, that you do cleansing practices right now, especially with everything kind of coming in with the presidential elections. uh, it's a mess. With the seasons, the change, the Mercury retrograde that just happened, it would be really, really good for you guys to engage in some sort of self-care practice that's also like a purification ritual. There's sound baths. You can find those on YouTube. Meditations, affirmations, just a simple bath that has like salt water, just salt water, bathe. imagine that all of the gook of the season and all the gook of like social media and stuff like that is coming off of you. Um, I feel like there needs to be a space created where you can actually work on your own forgiveness, and not just forgiveness of other people, but forgiveness of yourself, whatever that means for you. Okay. There's also there's another meditation that I like to use called the Ho'oponopono, and you can actually find that on YouTube as well. It's called Ho'oponopono. So it's like H apostrophe O P. Oh, I can't spell it. Anyway, Ho'oponopono. If you type those in, I'm pretty sure it'll start to come up, Ho'oponopono meditation. And it's about forgiveness. And I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive. Wait, what is it? I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And this is just an affirmation to yourself, you know. So anyway, you guys can look it up. My point is that there's too much internalized stuff happening. And this is the age of COVID. You know, if you want to reduce inflammation, if you want to reduce the chance of getting sick, you're going to have to learn to forgive. So we also have the King of Swords in reverse with the Six of Cups. Now, forgiving doesn't per se mean that you just allow people to get away with things. And I feel like there's perhaps someone in your life who is, or someone or something in your life that takes a lot more than they give, and you allow it to happen on some level. They're probably like the only person in your life that you allow to do X, Y, and Z. And you sort of need to reestablish boundaries. Have been coming up quite a bit in most of the readings. And you sort of need to like reestablish your boundaries when it comes to this. I have the Six of Cups here. So it's somebody who's been in your life for a while. It could also be a parental figure. But it's someone that needs to have a few more boundaries sort of set in place right now. You know, you don't have to be mean with it. You can still love them. They can still be in your life. But I don't see that this person's somebody that you need to get rid of. I just think you need to reestablish a type of communication that works for your needs and for theirs as well. I have the Queen of Swords. I feel like if you don't do that, you're going to end up here. This is not the place you want to be with people who actually care about you. I feel like this person genuinely cares about you. If they knew, they'd do better. If they knew, they would do better. But sometimes they don't know. You think they should know, but people can't read your mind. And just because you are a certain way doesn't mean other people react the same way or act the same way or think the same way that you do. You guys can be very, very selfless people in a way sometimes it's almost like self-flagellating, and not everybody's like that. It doesn't mean that they're particularly selfish. It just means that they're just not like that. You know, they don't give in that sort of way. You know, and that can also for Capricorns become a bit of a self-abuse situation. So just these are just elements of which I would suggest you just be. I'm gonna move here so you get a little bit more light. There's a lot of darkness happening on this side. I would suggest that you guys kind of look at the areas of which maybe you're being a little too self-sacrificing, maybe a little bit too self-flagellating, self-punishing, you know, in the process of giving. And where's the root of that? How long you and you know, like I said, I also said this in Scorpio, the Scorpio reading just a minute ago. How long have you been doing that? Right now, a lot of things are getting ready to shift and turn and be different. And as you're moving with the times, with the tide, how long have you been self-punishing? And in areas like that, you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself so that you don't continue these cycles. So we also have the Page of Pentacles, not page, Queen of Pentacles here. So this is a woman who is stable. She's, you know, she's in her way. Oh, by the way, sorry, back up, let me back up. You might have learned this from your mother. Just saying. You might have learned this from your mother. Something to look at. This is you. Stable, nourishing everything around it. You know, you're in the garden. You're in the garden. You're hoeing. Okay. I'm just gonna do the motion. Stop talking about it. You know what I'm saying. And especially if this comes to work, You know we're in a pandemic right now. You know that the structure you're used to doesn't exist. You know that like things are changing and they're changing rapidly regardless to whether or not you want it to, including the seasons. It's imbalanced. There are certain things that don't make sense. If you are tired, not resting doesn't make sense. Um, if you are exhausted, not recuperating doesn't make sense. If you don't have enough to give, giving everything until you're stripped bare and naked does not make sense. Doesn't make sense. You can't hold up all the things expecting that the tower is just never going to fall on top of you. It's better to jump out and take chances. Whatever that means for you. We have the moon card that did show up, the moon card in reverse. I feel like towards December, you're going to get a lot more clarity. But make sure this clarity doesn't come with like, make sure you work on the internal, work on the emotional part of yourself so that, when the time comes and clarity shows itself, that you're not sort of making rash decisions and isolating yourself. Don't isolate yourself. Okay? I mean, to a point, do because COVID, but I'm just saying, like, don't ultimately isolate yourself. And I just want to mention this card because this card actually came up when I first did when I first shuffled cards, and this was the Hierophant in reverse, and this was about sort of like having a breakdown or unstable sort of untraditional relationships or even unstable relationships. This could also be that, that you are trying to take you're trying to take the situation out of the hands of the divine instead of allowing the process that the divine has you going through to happen. Don't hold up too many things. Okay? Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I hope that was that resonated with you. If it did, like, share, subscribe, comment. It may not resonate with you, and that's okay. Check your sun, moon, and rising. Also, these videos are timeless. I'm just giving you guys sort of a general, like, it could be towards December. This could be happening now. This could be getting ready to happen. If it resonated with you and you'd like to donate, my PayPal is down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.